Hello and welcome to Dad Got This, where we answer the tough questions like, how do you cook pork on a pellet grill for pulled pork? That's a lot of peas. And how do pigs write secret messages? That one's easy, with invisible oink. We're gonna keep this pretty simple. I got a bone-in Boston butt, we're gonna hit it with some rub, and that's it. No injections, no nothing. We're not getting fancy over here. Get it out of the package, pat it dry, and there's really no prep. There's a mild fat cap on here, not much, and all I'm gonna do is cross-cut score it here on the top. And that's pretty much it for prep. No trimming or anything. These are good to go as is. I'm gonna use a binder. Sometimes I use a binder, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna use good old-fashioned yellow mustard on this one. And I did a little research. There's fat side up, fat side down, lots of different ways to do this. I saw people said on a pellet smoker, since all the heat's coming from the bottom, you really kind of want to protect the meat a little bit, so you should cook it fat side down. So that's what I'm gonna go with. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And we're just gonna slather this guy up with our mustard on the top here. You don't want it too thick, just enough to help your rub stick. For rub, I'm going with some Sassy-Q Sweet BBQ Rub. This is a local Florida rub that I got at my local Publix. I've used it in another video and I liked it, so I'm going with this. I like sweet pulled pork. I don't know, I'm a child. And we are gonna give this a nice heavy coat. Flip it, maybe a little bit of extra mustard here on this side. And this is our presentation side, so you know what? Let's do the sides first. That way I'm not messing with it as much. Don't forget the sides. Rookie move. According to Bradley Robinson, who I enjoy his channel quite a bit. Now, for the final presentation side. I'd like to have a nice bark on this if I can get it. Fresh set of gloves, and we're just gonna pat this rub in. You don't actually rub in, which is weird to say that, I don't know, they should call them barbecue pats. But just pat it in a little bit. That's gonna help it stick. And I used a fresh glove for that so that I didn't get mustardy hands, sticky hands all over the rub. That looks pretty good to me. We're gonna go ahead and stick this over here. And let's go get our smoker ready. Now that the smoker's ready to go, we're gonna throw this on the smoke setting, which is gonna give us a whole ton of smoke for at least the first hour, and we'll see how it looks. It's been about an hour and a half. Let's check on the pork. According to my wireless probe, we are at 75 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. Let's see how it looks. Looks good. I don't think I'll need to spray it yet. We really wanna try to build that bark. We'll go ahead and kick this up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius so we can cook this a little bit quicker for dinner. One thing you can do to impress your friends and family with your barbecue is to make your own barbecue sauce. And it's actually really easy. I've made quite a few barbecue sauces on this channel, and let's make up a new one. I would normally do this in like an actual saucepan or a pot, but to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see, I did it in this wide bottom pan. It'll work just fine. We're gonna add a half a stick of salted butter, put it over like a medium heat, and let it melt. Once that's started to melt, let's add some sweetness, a little sugar, quarter cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of honey. And for this one, I'm gonna use the Sassy-Q Sweet Rub. I think the flavors will go well together with the rub that's on the pork. We'll start off with a tablespoon, see how she tastes. 2 tablespoons. That's got a little bit more of the color and the smell I was hoping for. A cup of ketchup. To give it a little tang, we're gonna throw in a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar. And I bought some Hawaiian rolls to make little pulled pork sliders with. So I'm gonna make it a little bit Hawaiian style barbecue sauce, and we're gonna use some pineapple nectar. We'll go with a cup of this and see how everything works out. And that's your basics of most barbecue sauces. Something sweet, some ketchup, some tang and a vinegar, And then I like to add some sort of fruit juice for flavor. Add some spices and you're good to go. So if you want to swap out the fruit juice or the spices, you can make this your own and make it go with just about any kind of food. As you can see, really thin right now. To thicken it up, we're gonna go ahead and simmer it for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just till it gets to the thickness you want. If you just wanna cheat and you don't wanna simmer it, you could throw in a cornstarch slurry. But simmering it is going to intensify the flavors and make it taste that much better. Speaking of taste, let's give it a little taste and see how it is, and we can adjust our spices as needed. Ooh, that's perfect. It doesn't need anything. All I'm gonna do is simmer this guy off and let it thicken. We just hit 165 Fahrenheit or Celsius on the pork. So it's time to wrap this sucker, and then we're gonna jack the smoker up to, I think, 350 Fahrenheit or Celsius, and pop it back on there because I need to get this thing done for dinner. Pork is done. Time to do the pulled pork part. Probably should have let this rest a little longer, but we want to eat. All right, let's see. Not bad, pretty clean bone. Time to give it a taste. It's smoky, it's sweet, and honestly, if you put this barbecue sauce on anything, it'll be fantastic. Now you might have noticed when I was pulling the pork, it didn't quite shred as nicely as I would have liked. That was because I pulled the pork too early because I had some unexpected guests come over and I needed some food pretty quickly. If that ever happens to you, it's an easy fix. Throw it in an Instant Pot or a crock pot, throw a little bit of juice in there, some fruit juice that matches the barbecue sauce that you're made, and a little bit of liquid, and boom, let it go for a little while, and it'll be perfectly pulled pork tender. This, still great. I have absolutely no complaints. Nobody who I served this to had any problems with tenderness, flavor, or anything. But it didn't have that perfect shreddy texture I wanted. So next time, I probably would cook it a little bit longer. So that does it for this episode. I'm going through the basics, learning how to cook your barbecue basics on a Z-Grill's pellet grill. I've done ribs, I've done brisket, I've done pulled pork. I guess I gotta do some chicken next. So if you're interested in seeing that, or just fun cooking related content, please do the likey, subscribe stuff. YouTube loves it when you give a like. Leave a comment. I answer just about every comment in my comment section. And if you really wanna support this channel, consider becoming a member. Members get 24-hour early access to videos, shout outs, producer credits, all kinds of fun stuff. Thank you to each and every one of you who is a member. After that, I think there's only one question left to answer. Why did the pig get fired from its job? Insubordination. Get it? Like boar, because it's a pig. Yeah, it's terrible. Dad may tell horrible dad jokes, cook some pretty good pulled pork, but one thing Dad will never do is an outro. So that's it. Bye.
This episode of Dad Got This was brought to you by our producers. Thank you very much.